Hello, and welcome to the Sleepy Story World channel. Tonight, we're going to step gently into the wonderful world of dogs. These faithful companions have walked beside humans for thousands of years. From the tiniest lapdog to the biggest working breed, dogs have shaped our lives in so many ways. They comfort us in sadness, protect us in fear, and fill our everyday moments with a love that asks for nothing in return. Tonight, we'll discover the quiet rhythms of their hearts, the ancient connection they share with us, and the peaceful ways they make our world more beautiful. If you enjoy these gentle explorations, feel free to like, subscribe, or leave a simple thought in the comments. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, all you need to do is rest, get comfortable, and let the warmth of these stories carry you softly towards sleep. Let's begin. The ancient bond. Dogs were the first animals humans ever domesticated. Long before we tamed horses or raised cattle, before chickens or sheep, there were dogs. Sometime between 15,000 and 40,000 years ago, in a world still touched by ice, wolves started coming closer to human camps. They were drawn by leftover food, by the glow of fires, and by something deeper, something hard to put into words. Over countless generations, the bravest and gentlest of those wolves stayed closer. They learned to read human gestures and expressions. Slowly, almost invisibly, they began to change. They weren't quite wolves anymore, and not yet the dogs we know today, but something in between. The partnership that formed changed both species forever. People gained hunting partners, guards for their camps, and friends in the long, dark nights. The wolves gained a steady source of food, protection, and a place near the fire. That old bond was built on trust, on shared need, and on something that felt very much like love. Today, every dog, from the tiniest Chihuahua to the largest Great Dane, carries a whisper of those first wolves who chose to walk beside us. Turning wolf into dog took thousands of years. Evolution never rushes, and the journey from wild wolf to beloved companion was long and slow. Early humans didn't try to create dogs through careful breeding. Instead, natural selection did the work. Wolves that were less fearful, more playful, and better at understanding human signals had an advantage. They ate better, lived longer, and had more puppies. Generation by generation, those traits became stronger. Their ears started to flop. Their tails began to curl. Their faces softened. Their bark changed pitch. Their coats showed new colors and patterns. Scientists call this domestication syndrome, a set of changes that happen when wild animals grow tame. But it took time, so much time. Thousands of years of living side by side, of shared hunts and shared meals, of puppies raised near human children. The wolves became something gentler, something more trusting, something that looked back at people with understanding in their eyes. They became dogs. Ancient civilizations and sacred companions. In the ruins of ancient Egypt, archaeologists have found dog mummies wrapped carefully and buried with the same honor as human nobility. The Egyptians connected dogs with Anubis, the jackal-headed god who guided souls to the afterlife. Dogs were seen as protectors in death, just as they had been in life. In ancient Greece, dogs appeared in art and stories, praised for their loyalty and bravery. The philosopher Diogenes lived so simply that people called him the dog, a name he wore with pride. In Central and South America, the Aztecs and Maya kept dogs called Xoloitzcuintli, believing these hairless companions would lead their souls through the underworld. Across China, stone lions guarded temples and palaces as symbols of protection and good fortune. From Mesopotamia to Rome, from the highlands of Asia to the islands of the Pacific, every culture that knew dogs seemed to understand something essential about them. They were more than animals. They were friends, guardians, and mirrors of our own ability to love. The science of the bond. Dogs can read human emotions with surprising accuracy. When you smile, your dog knows. When you frown, they understand. When your voice shakes with sadness, they hear it clearly. Dogs are experts at reading body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice. They watch our eyes and follow our gaze, a skill even chimpanzees, our closest relatives, find difficult. Studies have shown that dogs can tell the difference between happy and angry faces, even in photos of people they've never met. They lean toward joyful expressions and hesitate before angry ones. This ability isn't learned. It's built into them through thousands of years of living next to humans. When your dog tilts their head at your words, they aren't just hearing sounds. They're trying to understand what you need, what you feel, what you want them to do. They watch you with a focus that feels almost human, because in some ways, it is. They've learned to truly see us in a way no other animal can. When you look into your dog's eyes, something chemical and beautiful happens. Your brain releases oxytocin, often called the love hormone. This is the same chemical that bonds mothers to babies, partners to each other, and friends over years of trust. But here's the remarkable part. Your dog's brain releases it too. When they look back at you, when they lean against your leg, or rest their head in your lap, their body fills with that same warm feeling. This shared chemical bond creates a loop. You feel love, they feel love, and both of you grow closer. Scientists have measured this in labs, tracking hormone levels before and after dogs and humans interact. The results are clear and steady. The bond between humans and dogs isn't just emotional, it's physical. Our bodies recognize each other as family, as partners, as beings worthy of deep affection. That connection exists on a cellular level, written into the chemistry of our brains. In quiet moments, when a dog rests beside their person, something remarkable happens beneath the surface. Their heartbeats start to match. Scientists studying the bond between humans and dogs have found that when they're close and relaxed, their cardiovascular rhythms fall into harmony. If a person's heart slows during meditation or sleep, their dog's often follows. If stress makes the human pulse quicken, the dog's may rise in sympathy. This happens without anyone trying. Neither species controls it. It's the body's way of saying, "You are my pack. Your well-being matters to me. I'm with you." This connection shows up most strongly in dogs and their main caregivers, those they've bonded with deeply over time. It's one more layer of closeness, one more thread in the tapestry that ties our species together. To rest beside your dog is to share not just space, but rhythm, breath, and the quiet beating of two hearts finding the same pace. The power of the senses. A dog's sense of smell is tens of thousands of times stronger than ours. When you step outside, you might notice flowers or fresh-cut grass. Your dog, in that same moment, is experiencing a completely different world. They smell the squirrel that passed 3 hours ago, the neighbor's cat 2 houses down, the rain that will arrive tomorrow. A dog's nose holds up to 300 million scent receptors, compared to our mere 6 million. The part of their brain dedicated to analyzing smells is 40 times larger than ours, proportionally. So while we see the world mostly through vision, dogs experience it through scent. Every blade of grass carries a story. Every breeze is a message. Every stranger is a cloud of chemical signals revealing mood, health, and history. When your dog sniffs endlessly on a walk, they aren't wasting time. They're reading the news, checking their messages, exploring an invisible universe we can't begin to see. The power of a dog's nose goes beyond tracking and hunting. In recent years, scientists have discovered that dogs can smell cancer, diabetes, seizures, and other medical conditions before symptoms appear. They pick up chemical changes in breath, sweat, and blood, noticing volatile organic compounds that shift when the body is ill. Some dogs have warned their owners about tumors long before doctors found them, giving precious time for treatment. Others sense when a diabetic person's blood sugar drops dangerously low, nudging them awake or fetching medicine. Seizure alert dogs can tell an episode is coming minutes before it happens, helping their person find a safe place. These abilities aren't taught, though training can sharpen them. Dogs simply notice these changes naturally. Their noses are tuned to the subtle chemistry of human health. In hospitals and clinics around the world, dogs are now being trained to screen for diseases, offering a tool that's faster, cheaper, and sometimes more accurate than machines. Their noses, it turns out, can save lives. Dogs also hear frequencies far beyond our range. While we experience sound in a narrow band, dogs enjoy a much wider symphony. They can detect frequencies up to 65,000 Hz, compared to our upper limit of 20,000. That means they hear sounds that are completely silent to us. The ultrasonic squeak of a mouse in the wall, the high-pitched whine of electronics, the rustle of insects in the grass. All of these exist in a sonic world we cannot enter. That's why dogs sometimes bark at seemingly nothing. They're reacting to sounds we can't detect. It's also why they may feel uneasy around certain machines, dryers, televisions, computers, all of which emit high-frequency noise. To a dog, the world is never truly quiet. There's always something to hear, some distant whistle or far-off rustle carrying information. When your dog's ears perk up in the stillness, trust that they're listening to something real, even if it stays forever beyond your own perception. Watch a dog in a moment of alertness, and you'll see their ears swivel like radar dishes, each moving independently to catch sounds from different directions. Dogs have more than a dozen muscles controlling each ear, giving them incredible precision in locating the source of a noise. This skill helped their wolf ancestors hunt in darkness and thick forests, where hearing was often more useful than sight. A rustle in the bushes, a breath behind a tree, a footstep on soft ground, all could be located with accuracy. Domestic dogs still have this ability, even if they no longer need it for survival. When two sounds happen at once from different places, a dog can track both, one ear aimed at each source. This gives them a spatial sense of sound that we lack. The world to a dog isn't just louder or wider in frequency. It's also more precisely mapped. Every sound has a location, a direction, a distance. Their ears paint a three-dimensional picture of their surroundings, even in total darkness. As for sight, Dogs see the world in shades of blue and yellow. Contrary to old myths, they aren't completely colorblind. They don't see in black and white, but they do see fewer colors than we do. Humans have 3 types of color receptors: red, green, and blue. Dogs have only 2, so their vision is similar to a person with red-green colorblindness. They see blues vividly and yellows clearly, but reds and greens appear as shades of brown or gray. That doesn't mean their visual world is dull, just different, filtered through another palette. What they lose in color, they often gain in other areas. Dogs see better in low light than we do, thanks to a reflective layer behind their retinas called the tapetum lucidum. That's what makes their eyes glow in photos and in the dark. They also detect motion more sharply, spotting even tiny movements from far away. While we see a rich rainbow of color, dogs see a world tuned for twilight and movement, perfect for a species that once hunted at dawn and dusk. The language of dogs. A wagging tail doesn't always mean a happy dog. The tail is a subtle communication tool, and the direction, speed, and height of the wag all send different messages. A big sweeping wag usually signals joy and friendliness. A slow, low wag may mean uncertainty or caution. A high, stiff wag can be a sign of excitement or even tension. The dog is alert and possibly uneasy. Scientists have even found that the direction matters. When a dog wags more to the right, they're expressing positive feelings. When the wag favors the left, they may be experiencing something stressful or unpleasant. This difference reflects which side of the brain is active. To truly understand a wagging tail, you have to look at the whole picture: the dog's posture, ears, eyes, and what's happening around them. A tail isn't a simple on-off switch. It's a complex flag signaling a range of emotions to anyone willing to learn its language. Dogs also have more than 100 distinct facial expressions. For years, scientists thought dogs had far fewer than humans. Then researchers started looking more closely, and the truth came out. Dogs have a rich vocabulary of facial signals, using their eyes, ears, mouth, and even whiskers to communicate. They can raise one eyebrow at a time, a movement that tugs at human hearts because it looks like our own expressions of curiosity or concern. They can show their teeth in aggression or pull their lips back in a submissive grin. They can widen their eyes to seem more appealing or narrow them in suspicion. Their ears can fold back in fear, point forward in attention, or relax in contentment. All these movements blend together in subtle ways to create a huge range of expressions. Some researchers believe dogs may have more distinct facial signals than wolves, a trait that evolved specifically to communicate with people. Over thousands of years, dogs learned that expressive faces help them bond with humans. So their faces became more mobile, more readable, more human-like. When your dog looks at you with that soulful gaze, they are speaking a language both species worked for millennia to create. Watch dogs meet in a park, and often one will drop their front legs while keeping their rear end up, tail wagging. That's a play bow, one of the clearest and most universal signals in dog communication. It means, what I'm about to do isn't serious. I want to play. This is fun. Dogs use play bows to invite games, to reduce tension, and to show friendly intent. Even adult dogs who left puppyhood long ago will bow to each other before a chase or a wrestle. The gesture is so deeply wired that it appears in dogs of every breed, every age, every environment. It's a signal that goes beyond language, culture, or training. When a dog play bows to a human, they are offering the same invitation. They want to engage, to interact, to share a moment of joy. In a world full of complex and sometimes confusing signals, the play bow is beautifully simple. It's a gesture of openness, trust, and the desire to connect through the universal language of play. When your dog yawns, you might think they're sleepy. Often that's true. But yawning in dogs can also be a calming signal, a way to self-soothe or ease tension in a social situation. A dog may yawn when they're nervous at the vet, when a stranger leans over them, or when they sense conflict between family members. That yawn is a way of saying, "I'm not a threat. Let's all relax. I'm trying to stay calm." Some dogs yawn repeatedly in stressful moments, using the motion to regulate their own feelings.
That's similar to how humans might take a deep breath or sigh when anxious.
If you notice your dog yawning when they shouldn't be tired, look for other signs of stress. Tense body language, lip licking, whale eye when you see the whites of their eyes, or a tucked tail. Understanding that a yawn can mean more than sleepiness helps you read your dog's emotional state more accurately. It's another thread in the rich language they use to talk with us and with each other. Finally, the position of a dog's ears reveals a great deal about how they feel. Ears are among the most expressive parts of a dog's body, and their position can shift quickly with changing emotions. Relaxed, neutral ears mean a calm dog. Ears pinned back often signal fear or submission. Ears pulled forward and slightly apart can mean curiosity or interest. Ears held very stiff and forward may indicate alertness or potential challenge. Because every dog's ear shape is different, from floppy Basset Hound ears to upright German Shepherd ears, the specific movements vary, but the general language remains the same across breeds. By watching the ears alongside the tail, eyes, and posture, you can begin to understand what your dog is feeling in almost any moment. Forward-facing ears typically indicate alertness, interest, or confidence. The dog is focused on something and engaged. Ears pulled back flat against the head often signal fear, submission, or appeasement. The dog is trying to appear smaller and less threatening. Ears that swivel or rotate independently suggest the dog is monitoring multiple stimuli, staying aware of their environment. Relaxed ears, neither pinned back nor rigidly forward, usually mean the dog is calm and comfortable. Of course, ear shape varies greatly by breed. Some dogs have floppy ears that obscure these signals, while others have large, erect ears that amplify every shift in mood. But regardless of shape, the muscles at the base of the ear still move in telling ways. If you watch closely, you can see even a Basset Hound's droopy ears shift position. Learning to read ears along with tail, body posture, and facial expression gives you a fuller understanding of what your dog is feeling in any given moment. Puppy development. Puppies are born blind and deaf. When puppies enter the world, they are incredibly vulnerable. Their eyes are sealed shut, their ear canals closed. They cannot see, cannot hear, and can barely crawl. For the first week or two of life, they exist in a world of touch, warmth, and smell. They navigate by feeling for their mother's warmth and scent, nuzzling toward her belly for milk. This helplessness is not a flaw, but a trade-off. Dogs, like many mammals, have relatively short gestation periods. Their young are born early in development to keep the mother mobile and healthy. Over the next few weeks, the puppies will transform rapidly. Around 10 to 14 days old, their eyes will begin to open, revealing cloudy blue pupils that will gradually clear and change color. Their ear canals will unseal, and the world of sound will flood in. These early weeks are critical, a time of rapid neurological development when the brain is forming connections that will last a lifetime. During this period, the warmth and presence of their mother and littermates is everything. It shapes their sense of security and their ability to trust. Their eyes open around 2 weeks of age. The moment a puppy's eyes open is one of the most tender milestones in their development. It happens gradually, not all at once. One eye may open before the other, giving the puppy a lopsided, curious appearance. At first, their vision is blurry and unfocused. They can detect light and movement, but cannot yet see details clearly. Over the following days and weeks, their sight sharpens. They begin to recognize shapes, then faces, then the specific features of their mother and siblings. This is when they start to engage with the world visually, following moving objects with their gaze, reacting to gestures, learning that the world extends beyond what they can touch and smell. The color of their eyes at birth is usually a blue-gray, but this will change as they mature. Some breeds retain blue eyes into adulthood, but most will shift to brown, amber, or hazel. Watching a puppy's eyes open is like watching them wake up to the world, stepping from one kind of existence into a richer, more complex one. Puppies learn critical social skills from their littermates. In the first 2 to 3 months of life, puppies are in a critical socialization period. During this time, they learn how to be dogs. They wrestle with their siblings, discovering what play looks like, how hard they can bite before another puppy yelps, how to read body language and respond appropriately. This is where they learn bite inhibition, the ability to control the force of their jaws. When a puppy bites too hard during play, their sibling yelps and stops playing. The biting puppy learns, "Oh, that was too much. I need to be gentler." This lesson is crucial. Dogs who are separated from their litter too early, before 7 or 8 weeks, often struggle with bite inhibition and social skills throughout their lives.
They may play too roughly, react poorly to other dogs, or have difficulty reading social cues. The littermates are the first teachers, and the lessons they impart are foundational. In their tumbling, yipping, tail-chasing chaos, puppies are learning the rules of their species, the language of dog. The imprint period shapes a puppy's lifelong temperament. Between roughly 3 and 12 weeks of age, a puppy's brain is extraordinarily receptive to new experiences. This is called the imprinting or socialization period. And what happens during this window has a profound and lasting impact. Positive experiences with people, animals, sounds, and environments during this time help a puppy grow into a confident, well-adjusted adult. Negative or traumatic experiences can create fears that last a lifetime. This is why responsible breeders and rescues work hard to expose puppies to a variety of sights, sounds, and gentle handling during these weeks. A puppy who hears vacuum cleaners, car rides, children playing, and doorbells ringing will be less fearful of these things as an adult. A puppy who meets different people, calm dogs, and perhaps even cats will be more social and adaptable. Conversely, a puppy kept in isolation without stimulation or interaction may grow into an anxious or reactive dog. The imprint period is a gift and a responsibility. It is the time when a dog's view of the world is formed, when they decide whether the world is safe and interesting or frightening and overwhelming. Puppies sleep up to 20 hours a day. If you have ever had a puppy, you know the cycle well. Bursts of frenetic energy, zooming around the house, chewing, playing, exploring,
followed by sudden collapse into deep sleep. Puppies need an enormous amount of rest because their bodies and brains are growing at an astonishing rate. Sleep is when growth happens, when memories consolidate, when the nervous system organizes itself. A young puppy may sleep 18 to 20 hours out of every 24.
This is completely normal and necessary. During sleep, their little legs may twitch as they dream, their eyelids fluttering, soft whimpers or barks escaping. They are processing the day's experiences, integrating new information, building the neural pathways they will use for the rest of their lives. As they grow, they will sleep less, but even adult dogs sleep more than humans do, often 12 to 14 hours a day. For puppies, though, sleep is not laziness, it is work. It is how they build themselves into the dogs they will become. Intelligence and learning. Dogs can learn over 100 words. For a long time, people believed that dogs understood tone and gesture, but not actual words. Research has proven otherwise. Some dogs can learn the names of hundreds of objects, responding correctly when asked to fetch a specific toy from a pile. A border collie named Chaser famously learned the names of over 1,000 different items, demonstrating a vocabulary that rivals that of a young child. Most pet dogs will not reach that level, but many can learn dozens of words. Commands like sit, stay, come, as well as nouns like ball, walk, treat, and car. They learn by association, connecting a sound with an action, object, or outcome. The more consistent the usage, the stronger the association becomes. Some dogs even seem to understand syntax, responding differently to fetch the ball versus ball fetch. This suggests a level of linguistic processing that scientists are still working to fully understand. When you talk to your dog, they are not just hearing affectionate nonsense. They are listening, learning, and in their own way, understanding. Border collies are considered the most intelligent breed. Intelligence in dogs can be measured in different ways: problem solving, trainability, instinct, adaptability. But by most metrics, border collies consistently rank at the top. Bred for centuries to herd sheep across the rugged hills of Scotland and England, they were selected for their ability to think independently, make quick decisions, and respond to subtle cues from shepherds. This has created a breed that is intensely focused, highly trainable, and almost obsessive in their desire to work. A border collie can learn a new command in fewer than 5 repetitions and will obey on the first try 95% of the time or more. They excel in agility, obedience, herding trials, and any task that challenges their minds. But this intelligence comes with a cost. A bored border collie can become destructive, anxious, or neurotic. They need jobs, whether that is actual herding, dog sports, or complex games and puzzles. For the right owner, a border collie is a brilliant and devoted partner. For someone unprepared for their intensity, they can be overwhelming. Intelligence in dogs, as in people, is a double-edged sword. Some breeds were developed for specific tasks over centuries. Every dog breed we know today was shaped by human hands, selectively bred for particular traits over hundreds or even thousands of years. Retrievers were bred to fetch game from water, so they have soft mouths, love to swim, and are gentle with delicate objects. Terriers were bred to hunt vermin, so they are tenacious, fearless, and quick. Sighthounds, like greyhounds and salukis, were bred to chase fast prey by sight, so they are incredibly fast and have keen vision. Scenthounds, like beagles and bloodhounds, were bred to track by smell, so they have extraordinary noses and remarkable endurance.
Guardian breeds like Mastiffs and Anatolian Shepherds were bred to protect livestock and property, so they are large, powerful, and naturally vigilant. Each breed carries the legacy of its original purpose, even if it now lives as a pet and never performs that work. A beagle in an apartment still wants to follow scents. A border collie in the suburbs still wants to herd.
Understanding a breed's history helps us understand their instincts, their needs, and the behaviors that seem hardwired into their very being. Dogs can learn by observing other dogs. Social learning is a powerful tool in the canine world. Puppies watch their mother and learn what is safe to eat, where to eliminate, and how to respond to various situations. Older dogs can teach younger ones by example, demonstrating how to navigate stairs, use a dog door, or behave politely during mealtime. This observational learning extends beyond the family unit. In multi-dog households, a new dog often learns the household routines simply by watching the resident dogs. If the older dogs run to the door when the leash comes out, the newcomer quickly learns that this sound means a walk. If the pack settles quietly when a certain word is spoken, the new dog learns to settle too. This is why training one dog in a group can sometimes inadvertently train the others. They are watching, absorbing, and imitating. Dogs are not just individuals learning through trial and error. They are social learners, capable of gaining knowledge from the experiences of others. It is yet another way their intelligence manifests not in isolation, but in community. Positive reinforcement is the most effective training method. For generations, dog training relied heavily on dominance, punishment, and aversive techniques. The idea was that dogs needed to be shown who was boss, that corrections and physical discipline were necessary to maintain control. Modern science has thoroughly debunked this approach. Research shows that positive reinforcement, rewarding desired behaviors rather than punishing unwanted ones, is far more effective, creates stronger bonds, and results in happier, more confident dogs. When a dog sits and receives a treat or praise, they learn that sitting leads to good things. They are motivated to repeat the behavior. When a dog is punished for jumping, they may stop jumping, but they also learn that their person is unpredictable or frightening. They may become anxious, fearful, or even aggressive. Positive reinforcement builds trust. It teaches dogs what to do rather than just what not to do. It makes training a joyful game rather than a stressful battle. Dogs trained with positive methods are more eager to learn, more willing to try new things, and more deeply bonded to their humans. Kindness, it turns out, is not just more humane, it is also more effective. The many roles dogs play. Service dogs perform tasks that transform lives. Across the world, service dogs are quietly changing what is possible for people with disabilities. Guide dogs lead the blind through crowded streets, stopping at curbs, avoiding obstacles, and navigating complex environments with precision. Hearing dogs alert their deaf partners to doorbells, smoke alarms, crying babies, and other crucial sounds. Mobility assistance dogs help people in wheelchairs by opening doors, retrieving dropped items, and even pulling wheelchairs up ramps. Psychiatric service dogs help those with PTSD, anxiety, or other mental health conditions by providing grounding during panic attacks, creating space in crowds, or waking their person from nightmares. Diabetic alert dogs detect dangerous blood sugar changes and alert their owners before a medical crisis occurs. Seizure response dogs stay with their person during an episode, fetch medication, or press emergency call buttons. Each of these dogs undergoes extensive training, often 2 years or more, learning to be calm in chaos,
focused despite distractions, and utterly devoted to their partner's well-being. They are not pets, though they are loved. They are working professionals, and the independence they provide is immeasurable. Therapy dogs bring comfort to hospitals and nursing homes, while service dogs work with one specific person. Therapy dogs share their gentle presence with many. These dogs, along with their handlers, visit hospitals, nursing homes, schools, and disaster sites, offering comfort to those in pain, grief, or stress. A therapy dog might sit quietly beside a hospital bed, allowing a patient to stroke their soft fur and feel a moment of peace. They might visit a nursing home, bringing joy to residents who miss their own pets or who simply need connection. In schools, therapy dogs help children with reading programs, sitting patiently as nervous readers practice aloud without judgment. After tragedies, crisis response therapy dogs arrive to comfort survivors, first responders, and community members struggling with trauma. The presence of a calm, friendly dog has measurable effects, lowering blood pressure, reducing anxiety, and releasing those same bonding hormones, oxytocin, that make us feel loved and safe. Therapy dogs are not trained for specific tasks. Their job is simply to be present, to be gentle, and to remind people that even in darkness, there is warmth and softness in the world. Search and rescue dogs locate missing people in disasters. When earthquakes collapse buildings, when avalanches bury skiers, when hikers vanish into wilderness, search and rescue dogs go to work. These dogs are trained to locate human scent, even beneath rubble, snow, or water. They can cover vast areas far more quickly than human searchers, their noses detecting the faintest trace of a person in distress. After the World Trade Center attacks in 2001, hundreds of search and rescue dogs worked at Ground Zero, locating victims and bringing closure to grieving families. After hurricanes, floods, and other natural disasters, these dogs search through debris, often in dangerous conditions, to find survivors or remains. Some are trained for cadaver detection, helping law enforcement solve crimes and bring justice. Others specialize in wilderness trekking, following trails that are days old. The work is demanding physically and emotionally for both dog and handler. But the bond between them is profound, built on trust, communication, and a shared mission to bring hope to the hopeless. Each person found is a testament to the dog's incredible skill and unwavering determination. Detection dogs find drugs, explosives, and even currency. At airports, border crossings, and security checkpoints around the world, detection dogs are hard at work. Their noses, so much more sensitive than any machine, can detect trace amounts of substances invisible to technology. Some dogs are trained to find narcotics, sniffing luggage, vehicles, and cargo for illegal drugs. Others specialize in explosives, sweeping venues before large events, checking suspicious packages, and protecting public spaces from harm. Some dogs detect currency, helping authorities combat money laundering. Others are trained to find agricultural products at borders, preventing the spread of pests and diseases. There are even dogs trained to detect electronics, helping find hidden cell phones in prisons or evidence in criminal investigations. These dogs work in partnership with their handlers, communicating through subtle body language and trained alerts. When they find their target, they may sit, scratch, or bark, depending on their training. The work saves lives, protects communities, and stops crime. And for the dog, much of the time, it is simply a game, a puzzle to solve, a chance to use their incredible nose and earn praise from their beloved handler. Herding dogs still work with livestock on farms worldwide. In the age of technology and automation, herding dogs remain indispensable on farms and ranches around the world.
Border collies, Australian shepherds, kelpies, and other herding breeds work alongside shepherds, moving flocks of sheep, herds of cattle, and even groups of ducks or geese. They respond to whistles, hand signals, and verbal commands, often working at great distances from their handlers. A skilled herding dog can separate a single sheep from a flock, guide hundreds of animals through gates and pens, and keep the herd together over miles of rough terrain. They read the movement of livestock with an almost uncanny intuition, anticipating where an animal will go before it moves. This is instinct, refined over centuries of breeding. The same drive that once helped wolves hunt in packs, now redirected toward cooperation with humans. For these dogs, herding is not just a job, it is purpose, identity, and joy. Watching a herding dog work is like watching a master craftsman. Every movement precise, every decision confident, every moment a dance between instinct and training. Sled dogs race across frozen landscapes with endurance and joy. In the far north, where winter dominates and snow covers the land for months, sled dogs have been partners in survival for thousands of years. Breeds like Siberian Huskies, Alaskan Malamutes, and Samoyeds were developed to pull sleds across vast distances, carrying supplies, mail, and people through conditions that would stop any machine. Even today, in places where snowmobiles fail, sled dogs succeed. They are powerful, tireless, and driven by an intense desire to run. In races like the Iditarod, teams of dogs pull mushers over 1,000 miles through Alaska's wilderness, enduring blizzards, sub-zero temperatures, and treacherous terrain. These dogs are athletes, carefully conditioned and trained, but what stands out most is their enthusiasm. Watch a team of sled dogs before a run, and you will see pure excitement, barking, leaping, straining at their harnesses, eager to go. Running is what they were born to do,
And they do it with a joy that is contagious. For them, the frozen wilderness is not hardship, it is freedom. Guard dogs protect property and livestock from predators. Throughout history, humans have relied on dogs to protect what matters. Livestock guardian dogs like Great Pyrenees, Anatolian Shepherds, and Maramas live with flocks of sheep or goats, defending them from wolves, coyotes, bears, and other predators. Unlike herding dogs, which move livestock, guardian dogs simply stay with them, bonding to the flock as though it were their own pack. They are calm and gentle with the animals they protect, but fierce and intimidating toward threats. A single guardian dog can reduce livestock losses dramatically, and many ranchers credit them with saving their livelihoods. In homes, personal protection dogs are trained to defend their families, though most are also loving companions. Breeds like German Shepherds, Rottweilers, and Dobermans have strong protective instincts and the size and strength to back them up. A well-trained protection dog knows the difference between a threat and the guest, remaining calm and friendly until their family is truly in danger. The presence of a dog, even a small one, often deters intruders simply because dogs bark, alert, and create uncertainty. Protection is in their nature, a gift inherited from their wolf ancestors. The healing power of dogs. Simply petting a dog lowers blood pressure and reduces stress. The act of stroking a dog's fur is not just pleasant, it is therapeutic. Studies have shown that petting a dog reduces levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, while increasing levels of serotonin and dopamine, neurotransmitters associated with happiness and calm. Blood pressure drops, heart rate slows, and breathing becomes more regular. This effect is so consistent that therapy dogs are used in medical settings specifically to help patients relax before surgery, manage chronic pain, and cope with serious diagnoses.
The texture of a dog's coat, the warmth of their body, the rhythmic motion of petting, all contribute to a meditative state. For people living with anxiety, depression, or trauma, this simple interaction can be a lifeline, a moment of peace in an otherwise turbulent day. Even a few minutes of connection with a dog can shift your entire nervous system from fight or flight to rest and digest. It is a reminder that healing does not always come from medicine or therapy alone. Sometimes it comes from the quiet presence of a creature who asks nothing of you, but offers everything. Dog ownership is linked to longer, healthier lives. People who live with dogs tend to live longer and healthier lives than those who do not. This is not just correlation. There are clear mechanisms at play. Dogs encourage physical activity. They need walks, play, and outdoor time, which gets their owners moving. Regular exercise reduces the risk of heart disease, obesity, diabetes, and other chronic conditions. Dogs also provide social connection, both directly and indirectly. Walking a dog leads to interactions with neighbors, making friends at dog parks, and feeling part of a community. Social bonds are one of the strongest predictors of longevity and well-being. Dogs reduce stress, which lowers inflammation and boosts immune function. They provide purpose and routine, which are especially important for older adults or people living alone. The responsibility of caring for another being gives structure to the day and a reason to get up in the morning. In studies of heart attack survivors, those who own dogs were significantly more likely to survive the following year. Dogs do not just make life more enjoyable, they make it longer and healthier. Dogs help children develop empathy and responsibility. Growing up with a dog teaches lessons that last a lifetime. Children who care for pets learn responsibility. They must remember to feed, water, and walk their dog, understanding that another being depends on them. They learn empathy by observing their dog's emotions, recognizing when they are happy, scared, or unwell, and responding with kindness. They learn patience, especially with puppies or older dogs who require extra care. They learn about life cycles, experiencing the joy of a new puppy, the steady companionship of an adult dog, and eventually the grief of loss. Studies show that children who grow up with dogs have stronger social skills, higher self-esteem, and lower levels of anxiety. They are more likely to engage in physical activity and less likely to develop allergies and asthma, as early exposure to pets strengthens the immune system. For children with autism or other developmental differences, dogs can be particularly transformative, providing non-judgmental companionship, sensory comfort, and a safe outlet for affection. A dog does not care if a child struggles with social cues or has meltdowns. The dog simply loves them consistently and unconditionally, teaching the child that they are worthy of love exactly as they are. Grieving a dog is real and profound loss. When a beloved dog dies, the grief can be overwhelming, yet society often minimizes it. It was just a dog. You can get another one. At least it was not a person. But for those who loved that dog, the loss is profound and real. A dog is not just a pet. They are a daily companion, a source of comfort, a witness to your life. They greet you every day with joy, sit beside you in sorrow, and love you without condition. Losing that presence leaves a hole that cannot be easily filled. Grief for a dog includes all the stages of mourning: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and eventually acceptance. It may include guilt, wondering if you did enough, made the right decisions, could have saved them. It includes the painful reminders: the empty bed, the unused leash, the silence where there once was the click of nails on the floor. This grief deserves to be honored, not dismissed. It is a testament to the depth of the bond, proof that the relationship was meaningful and real. To grieve deeply is to have loved deeply, and there is no shame in mourning a dog as you would any cherished family member. They earned that grief with every moment of love they gave. The Rainbow Bridge offers comfort to those who have lost dogs. In the folklore of dog lovers, there is a place called the Rainbow Bridge. It is said to be a meadow at the edge of heaven where dogs who have died wait for their people to join them. There they are healthy and whole again, free from pain, age, and illness. They run and play, bask in the sun, and wait patiently for the day their person crosses over. When that day comes, the dog sees them from afar and runs to meet them, and they are reunited, never to be separated again. Together, they cross the bridge into whatever comes next. This story is not doctrine or theology. It is simply comfort, a gentle image that eases the sharp edge of grief. Whether or not you believe in an afterlife, the idea speaks to something true. The hope that love does not end, that the bond between a dog and their person is strong enough to transcend even death. For many, the Rainbow Bridge is not about literal truth. It is about the emotional truth that those we love, human or canine, leave paw prints on our hearts that never fully fade. The diversity of breeds. There are over 300 recognized dog breeds worldwide, from the towering Irish Wolfhound to the tiny Chihuahua, from the sleek Greyhound to the fluffy Samoyed. Dogs come in an astonishing variety of shapes, sizes, colors, and temperaments. Kennel clubs around the world recognize over 300 distinct breeds, each with its own standard, history, and purpose.
Some breeds are ancient, largely unchanged for thousands of years, like the Basenji of Africa or the Saluki of the Middle East. Others are relatively new, developed in the past century or two to fill specific roles or simply to please the eye. Each breed is the result of selective breeding, humans choosing which dogs to mate based on desired traits. This has created everything from the tireless working drive of a Belgian Malinois to the gentle, patient nature of a Golden Retriever. The diversity is a testament to the adaptability of the species and the creativity of human breeders. It also means that there is a dog for nearly every lifestyle, personality, and need. Whether you want a jogging partner, a lap warmer, a guardian, or a clown to make you laugh, there is a breed that fits. Mixed breed dogs are often healthier than purebreds. While purebred dogs have predictable traits, they also carry genetic risks. Breeding within a closed gene pool, as is required to maintain breed purity, increases the likelihood of inherited health problems. Hip dysplasia, heart conditions, breathing issues, and various genetic disorders are more common in purebreds. Mixed breed dogs, often called mutts or rescue dogs, benefit from genetic diversity. Crossing different breeds dilutes harmful recessive genes, often resulting in what is called hybrid vigor or heterosis. Mixed breeds tend to have fewer inherited health problems, stronger immune systems, and longer lifespans on average. They are also full of surprises, combining traits from multiple breeds in unique and sometimes unexpected ways. You might get the intelligence of a poodle mixed with the loyalty of a Labrador, or the compact size of a terrier with the gentle nature of a Spaniel. Each mixed breed dog is truly one of a kind, and while you cannot always predict exactly what you are getting, many people find that adds to the charm. Mixed breeds are a reminder that perfection is overrated and that resilience, health, and individuality matter just as much as pedigree. Some breeds are ancient, unchanged for thousands of years. While most modern breeds were developed in the past few centuries, a handful are considered ancient or basal breeds, meaning they are genetically closer to wolves and have changed little over millennia. The Basenji, a small hunting dog from Central Africa, does not bark, but instead makes a unique yodeling sound. It has been depicted in ancient Egyptian art. The Saluki, a graceful sighthound from the Middle East, was prized by nomadic tribes and is thought to be one of the oldest domesticated breeds. The Akita from Japan, the Shiba Inu, the Siberian Husky, and the Alaskan Malamute all show ancient genetic markers. These breeds often retain more wolf-like traits: independence, strong prey drive, and a reserved demeanor with strangers. They are living links to the past. Dogs that would be recognizable to people who lived thousands of years ago. To look at a Basenji or a Saluki is to see a form that has endured through empires, migrations, and the rise and fall of civilizations. They remind us that the bond between humans and dogs is not a recent invention, but a partnership that stretches back into the mists of prehistory. Designer breeds blend traits from two purebreds. In recent decades, intentional crosses between two purebred dogs have become popular, creating what are often called designer breeds. The Labradoodle, a cross between a Labrador Retriever and a poodle, was originally bred to create a hypoallergenic guide dog. The Golden Doodle, Cockapoo, and countless others followed. These crosses aim to combine the best traits of both parents: the friendly temperament of a Golden Retriever with the low-shedding coat of a poodle, for example. However, genetics do not always cooperate. Not every Labradoodle is hypoallergenic, and temperaments can vary widely within a litter.
Designer breeds are not recognized by most kennel clubs because they are not true breeds yet. There is no consistency across generations. Some breeders are working to stabilize these crosses, breeding them over multiple generations until they breed true. Others simply continue to produce first-generation crosses. Designer breeds can be wonderful dogs, but potential owners should research carefully, ensuring they are working with responsible breeders and understanding that the outcome may not be as predictable as with a long-established breed. They are part of the ongoing evolution of dogs, a process that has never really stopped. Rare breeds are at risk of disappearing. While some breeds number in the millions, others teeter on the brink of extinction. Breed clubs and enthusiasts work tirelessly to preserve rare breeds like the Norwegian Lundehund, a six-toed dog bred to hunt puffins. The Otterhound from England, now rarer than the giant panda. And the Chinook, a sled dog from New Hampshire with fewer than 1,000 individuals worldwide. These breeds often fell out of favor as their original work became obsolete or as more popular breeds overshadowed them. Losing a breed means losing a unique combination of traits, a piece of cultural heritage, and centuries of careful breeding. Some rare breeds survive only because of dedicated breeders who maintain small populations, carefully managing genetics to avoid inbreeding. Others are being revived from near extinction through careful crossbreeding and record-keeping. Preserving rare breeds is not just about nostalgia, it is about maintaining genetic diversity within the species as a whole. Each breed is a repository of unique genes that may prove valuable in the future, whether for health, behavior, or adaptability. In a world that often values the new and trendy, those who work to save rare breeds are doing quiet, essential work. Physical marvels. Dogs have 3 eyelids to protect their eyes. If you look closely at a dog's eye, you might catch a glimpse of a translucent membrane sliding across from the inner corner. This is the 3rd eyelid, also called the nictitating membrane. All dogs have it, though it is usually tucked out of sight. Its purpose is protection and lubrication. It sweeps across the eye like a windshield wiper, clearing away dust and debris while distributing tears to keep the eye moist. In some dogs, especially those with droopy eyes or loose facial skin, the 3rd eyelid is more visible. Sometimes it protrudes slightly, a condition that can be corrected if it causes problems. This extra layer of protection is something dogs share with many other animals. Birds, reptiles, and some mammals all have 3rd eyelids. It is an evolutionary feature that serves them well, an extra shield for one of their most precious senses. Watching a dog blink and seeing that flash of pale membrane is a reminder of how beautifully and intricately they are designed. A dog's noseprint is unique like a human fingerprint. Every dog has a nose unlike any other. The pattern of ridges, lines, and creases on a dog's nose is as unique as a human fingerprint, and it remains constant throughout their life. Some organizations have even proposed using nose prints as a form of identification, a way to register and track dogs, similar to microchipping. In theory, if you made an ink print of your dog's nose, it could identify them definitively. The texture of a dog's nose also tells you something about their health. A healthy nose is usually moist and cool, though it can be warm and dry at times without indicating illness. The moisture comes from a thin layer of mucus that helps dogs capture scent particles, enhancing their already extraordinary sense of smell. That wet nose is not just cute, it is functional, a tool that makes their olfactory abilities even more powerful. Every time your dog touches you with their nose, leaving a little damp spot, they are marking you with their own unique signature. Dogs sweat through their paw pads, not by panting. On a hot day, you may notice damp paw prints on the floor where your dog has walked. That is because dogs have sweat glands in their paw pads, one of the few places on their body where they can sweat. However, these glands alone are not enough to cool a dog effectively. Instead, dogs rely primarily on panting to regulate their temperature. When a dog pants, they evaporate moisture from their tongue, mouth, and respiratory tract, which cools the blood flowing through those areas. It is an efficient system, but it has limits. Dogs can overheat quickly in extreme heat or humidity, especially brachycephalic breeds, those with short noses and flat faces, like bulldogs and pugs. These dogs have compromised airways that make panting less effective. This is why it is crucial to never leave a dog in a hot car, provide plenty of water and shade, and be mindful of exercise in high temperatures. Understanding how dogs cool themselves helps us keep them safe and comfortable, respecting the limits of their anatomy. Their sense of time is remarkable and mysterious. Dogs seem to know when it is time for dinner, when their person usually arrives home, and when it is the weekend versus a weekday. How they do this is still not fully understood. They do not read clocks, yet they perceive the passage of time. Some researchers believe dogs track time through a combination of internal circadian rhythms, environmental cues, and routine. The angle of the sunlight, the sounds of the neighborhood,
the smells that build up or dissipate over hours. All of these may help a dog estimate time. There is also evidence that dogs experience time differently depending on their emotional state. Waiting for someone they love may feel longer than engaging in play. When owners leave for work, dogs may experience the separation more intensely in the first few minutes, then settle as time passes. The fact that dogs get excited when their person returns, whether they have been gone for 10 minutes or 10 hours, speaks to both their attachment and their perception of absence. Time to a dog is not measured in minutes and hours. It is measured in presence and absence, in anticipation and reunion. Dogs can detect changes in the Earth's magnetic field. Some studies suggest that dogs are sensitive to the Earth's magnetic field and may use it for navigation. Researchers have observed that dogs, when off-leash and free to move, prefer to align their bodies along the north-south axis when defecating, and to a lesser extent, when urinating. This alignment is most consistent when the magnetic field is calm, without solar storms or other disturbances. Why they do this is unclear. It may be a vestigial behavior tied to navigation, a way of orienting themselves in their environment. Some researchers speculate that it helps dogs maintain a mental map of their territory. Regardless of the reason, the fact that dogs can sense the magnetic field at all is fascinating. It suggests they are tuned into aspects of the physical world that we cannot perceive. They navigate not just by sight, sound, and smell, but by invisible forces woven into the fabric of the planet itself. It is yet another reminder that the world a dog experiences is richer and stranger than we can fully imagine. Puppies are born with pink noses that darken with age. When puppies are first born, their noses are often pink or very light in color. Over the first few weeks and months of life, the nose gradually darkens, developing the pigment that will define its adult color: black, brown, or liver, depending on the breed and genetics. Some dogs retain a pink or partially pink nose throughout their lives, a condition called Dudley nose, which is simply a lack of pigmentation and usually harmless. In some breeds, the nose changes color with the seasons, darkening in summer and lightening in winter. This is called snow nose or winter nose. And while the exact cause is not fully understood, it is thought to be related to an enzyme called tyrosinase, which is affected by temperature. The changing color of a dog's nose is one of those small, charming details that remind us how dynamic their bodies are. Even something as seemingly fixed as a nose is subject to change, growth, and the subtle influences of environment and genetics. A wagging tail uses up significant energy. When a dog wags their tail vigorously, they are not just expressing emotion, they are engaging in physical work. The muscles at the base of the tail and throughout the back contract and relax rapidly, driving the motion. For a dog with a long, heavy tail, this can actually use a noticeable amount of energy. Dogs with exuberant wags, think of a Labrador retriever whose entire back end seems to wiggle along with their tail, are burning calories with every enthusiastic greeting. In extreme cases, dogs can even injure their tails from overuse, a condition informally called happy tail syndrome. This happens most often in large dogs with long tails who wag so hard and frequently that they bang their tail against walls or furniture, causing wounds that are slow to heal because the dog keeps re-injuring the area with more wagging. It is a strangely endearing problem, a tale too happy for its own good. It reminds us that every joyful expression, every wag and wiggle is a physical act, a choice the dog makes to show their feelings, even at a cost. The quirks and mysteries. Dogs sometimes eat grass when their stomachs are upset. If you have ever watched your dog suddenly start grazing like a tiny cow, you have witnessed a behavior that has puzzled and fascinated dog owners for generations. Dogs are primarily carnivores, yet they sometimes seek out grass, chewing and swallowing it deliberately. The most common explanation is that they do this to soothe an upset stomach or to induce vomiting when they feel nauseous. The grass irritates the stomach lining, triggering the vomit reflex, which can help expel something that is bothering them. However, not all dogs vomit after eating grass, and some seem to eat it simply because they like the taste or texture. It may also provide some fiber or nutrients, or it may be a behavioral instinct inherited from wild ancestors who consumed plant matter in the stomachs of their prey. The truth is, scientists do not fully understand why dogs eat grass. It is one of those endearing mysteries, a reminder that despite all we have learned about dogs, they still surprise us. The zoomies are a release of pent-up energy. Every dog owner recognizes the zoomies, those sudden, frantic bursts of energy where a dog races around the house or yard at top speed, often in wild, looping circles, ears back, eyes bright, sometimes play-bowing or leaping as they run. These episodes, formerly called frenetic random activity periods or FRAPs, are completely normal and healthy. They are a way for dogs to release pent-up energy, excitement, or even stress. Puppies have zoomies frequently because they have so much energy and their bodies are still learning how to regulate it. Adult dogs may get the zoomies after a bath, a good meal, or when they are particularly happy. The behavior is joyful, a pure expression of vitality and exuberance. It is a moment when a dog sheds all restraint and simply runs for the sheer pleasure of movement. Watching the zoomies can be hilarious and heartwarming, a reminder that dogs live very much in the moment, embracing joy when it bubbles up without self-consciousness or restraint. Dogs dream, and the dreams may mirror their daily lives. If you have ever watched your dog sleep deeply and noticed their legs twitching, their eyes moving rapidly beneath closed lids, or heard soft barks and whimpers, you have seen a dog dream. Dogs, like humans, experience REM sleep, the stage of sleep associated with vivid dreams. Brainwave studies confirm that dogs have similar sleep patterns to humans, cycling through stages of light sleep, deep sleep, and REM. What do they dream about? We cannot know for certain, but researchers believe dogs likely dream about their daily experiences, chasing balls, running through fields, interacting with their family, or perhaps reliving a particularly exciting walk. Puppies and older dogs tend to dream more than middle-aged adults. The twitching and vocalizations are their bodies acting out the dreams, though a part of the brain inhibits full movement to keep them from physically running in their sleep. To watch a dog dream is to glimpse their inner world, a life of experience that is rich enough to replay in sleep. Some dogs are afraid of thunderstorms due to static electricity. Many dogs panic during thunderstorms, pacing, panting, hiding, or trying to escape. While the loud noise is certainly part of the problem, researchers believe static electricity may also play a role. Before and during a storm, the air becomes charged with static, and dogs, especially those with thick or long fur, can build up a charge in their coats. This may cause uncomfortable shocks, similar to the static you feel touching a doorknob in winter. Some dogs seek out grounded areas, like bathtubs, basements, or tiled floors, possibly in an instinctive effort to discharge the static. Changes in barometric pressure may also make them feel physically unwell, adding to their distress. For some dogs, storm phobia is so severe it requires intervention. Calming supplements, anxiety wraps that apply gentle pressure, desensitization training, or even medication. Understanding that the fear may have a physical component, not just an emotional one, helps owners respond with greater empathy. The dog is not being irrational. They are reacting to sensations we cannot feel, trying to escape discomfort we cannot see. Dogs tilt their heads to hear better and understand us. The classic head tilt is one of the most endearing things a dog does. You say a word they recognize or speak in a curious tone, and their head goes to one side, eyes focused intently on you. Why do they do this? One reason is auditory. Tilting the head may help them adjust the position of their ears to better locate the source of a sound or to hear it more clearly. The shape of a dog's head, especially breeds with floppy ears or long muzzles, can interfere with sound localization, and tilting may help overcome that. Another reason is visual. Dogs are trying to see our faces more clearly, particularly our mouths and expressions. Some researchers believe the head tilt helps dogs shift their muzzle out of the way, giving them a better view of our facial cues. Dogs who tilt their heads frequently may be those who are most attentive to human communication, trying harder to understand us. It is a gesture of focus, curiosity, and engagement,
A visible sign that they are listening, trying to decode our words and our intent. It is connection made visible.
Certain dogs have webbed feet for swimming. While all dogs have some skin between their toes, certain breeds have pronounced webbing that makes them exceptional swimmers. Labrador retrievers, Newfoundlands, Portuguese water dogs, and Chesapeake Bay retrievers all have notably webbed paws. This adaptation allows them to paddle more efficiently through water, using their feet like flippers. These breeds were developed for water work, retrieving game from lakes and rivers, pulling fishing nets, or performing water rescues. Their love of water is not just learned, it is bred into them. A Labrador retriever will often leap into any body of water they encounter, from puddles to ponds, driven by an instinct to swim. The webbing is just one of several adaptations these breeds have for aquatic life. Many also have water-resistant double coats, muscular builds for powerful swimming, and rudder-like tails that help them steer through water. If you have ever watched a Newfoundland swim, you have seen a dog in their element, moving with a grace and power that seems almost seal-like. Water for them is not an obstacle, but a playground. Dogs can be left or right-pawed. Just as humans are left or right-handed, dogs show paw preference. Some studies suggest that male dogs tend to be left-pawed, while female dogs lean toward being right-pawed. Though this is not absolute, you can test your dog's paw preference by observing which paw they use first to step downstairs, to reach for a toy, or to shake hands. Some dogs are ambidextrous, showing no clear preference. Others are strongly lateralized, almost always using the same paw. Interestingly, paw preference may be linked to temperament. Dogs with a strong paw preference, either left or right, tend to be more confident and less reactive to stress, while ambidextrous dogs may be more anxious or less emotionally stable.
This connection between lateralization and temperament is still being studied, but it suggests that even something as simple as which paw a dog uses can offer insight into their personality and emotional life. It is one more layer of individuality, one more way that each dog is uniquely themselves. The social world of dogs. Dogs form complex social hierarchies within a group of dogs. Whether a household with multiple pets or a pack of free-roaming dogs, social structures emerge. These hierarchies are not rigid or dictatorial in the way once believed. Modern understanding has moved away from the outdated alpha wolf model, which was based on captive wolves and does not reflect natural behavior. Instead, dog social structures are flexible, context-dependent, and based on relationships, not dominance. One dog may control access to food, another may initiate play, another may be the peacemaker who breaks up conflicts. Hierarchies shift based on the situation. A dog who is confident with other dogs may be submissive toward humans. A dog who defers at mealtime may be assertive during play. The relationships are nuanced, built on communication, negotiation, and sometimes compromise. Conflicts, when they occur, are usually resolved through body language and ritualized displays rather than actual fighting. Dogs are far more interested in maintaining group harmony than imposing dominance. Understanding this helps owners manage multi-dog households more effectively, recognizing that each dog has a role and that those roles can coexist peacefully when needs are respected. Dogs recognize and remember other dogs even after years. Dogs have excellent long-term memory, especially for social relationships. A dog who played with another dog as a puppy may recognize them years later, even after a long separation. They do this through a combination of scent, appearance, and behavior. Scent is likely the strongest cue, as each dog has a unique smell that remains consistent over time. When reunited with an old friend, dogs often engage in excited greetings, play bows, and other signs of recognition and joy. The same is true for humans. Dogs remember people who were important to them, even if years have passed. There are countless stories of dogs recognizing their former owners after long deployments, extended hospital stays, or other separations. The joy of these reunions is profound, a testament to the depth and durability of canine memory. Dogs are not creatures who live only in the present. They carry the past with them, holding on to relationships and experiences that shaped them.
To be remembered by a dog, to be greeted with that explosive joy after a long absence, is to understand that you mattered, that the bond you shared was real and lasting. Littermates often maintain special bonds throughout life. Puppies raised together form attachments during those critical early weeks, and those bonds can last a lifetime. Littermates often have a unique connection, a shared history, and understanding that sets their relationship apart. In multi-dog households, littermates may sleep curled together, play more gently with each other than with other dogs, and show distress when separated. Some behaviorists caution against adopting two puppies from the same litter, a phenomenon called littermate syndrome, because the dogs can become overly dependent on each other, struggling to develop confidence and independence. They may have difficulty bonding with humans or coping when apart. However, when managed carefully with separate training, individual attention, and gradual socialization, littermates can thrive together. Their bond becomes a source of comfort rather than a limitation. Watching two littermates interact as adults is like watching old friends. There is ease, familiarity, and a deep, unspoken understanding. They share a beginning, and that shared origin shapes the rest of their lives. Some dogs befriend other species. Dogs are remarkably social creatures, and their capacity for friendship extends beyond their own species. There are countless documented cases of dogs forming close bonds with cats, horses, birds, and even more unlikely companions like ducks, goats, and rabbits. These interspecies friendships are often formed when animals are raised together from a young age, learning to trust and communicate across the species divide. A dog and a cat who grow up together may sleep in a pile, groom each other, and play in ways that surprise their owners.
A dog may become protective of a smaller animal, treating them with a gentleness that seems almost parental. Some dogs form bonds with horses, running alongside them in fields, while others befriend farm animals, integrating into a mixed species herd or flock. These relationships challenge our assumptions about animal behavior and remind us that companionship, play, and affection are not limited by species boundaries. At their core, social animals of all kinds seek connection, comfort, and community. Dogs, with their open hearts and adaptable natures, seem especially gifted at building bridges across difference. Dogs grieve when a companion dies. When a dog loses a canine or human companion, they grieve. The signs are clear. Changes in appetite, lethargy, searching behavior, vocalizing, clinging to remaining family members, or withdrawing. Some dogs will return repeatedly to places associated with the lost companion, as if looking for them. They may sleep in the deceased dog's bed or carry their toys. The grief can last days, weeks, or even months. Dogs understand absence, and they feel the loss of beings they loved. In some cases, the surviving dog's health declines, a phenomenon sometimes called broken heart syndrome, though it is more likely a combination of stress, disrupted routine, and the physiological effects of grief. Helping a grieving dog involves maintaining routine, providing extra attention and comfort, and sometimes introducing new activities or companions when the timing is right. Some experts suggest allowing a dog to see and smell the body of a deceased companion, as this may help them understand that the other is gone, though this is not always possible or appropriate. What is clear is that grief in dogs is real. They mourn, and that mourning deserves our compassion and understanding. The working life. Military dogs serve with courage alongside soldiers. Throughout history, dogs have served in militaries around the world. In modern times, military working dogs, often German Shepherds, Belgian Malinois, or Labrador Retrievers, perform critical roles. They detect explosives and improvised devices, saving countless lives. They track enemy combatants, search buildings, and provide security at checkpoints. Some are trained for specialized tasks like parachute jumps or helicopter insertions. These dogs work in dangerous, high-stress environments, and their bond with their handlers is profound. Handlers and dogs train together for months, learning to trust each other completely. In combat zones, they rely on each other for survival. The dog trusts the handler to keep them safe, and the handler trusts the dog's senses and instincts. When a military dog is killed in action, they are often honored with full military funeral rites, a recognition of their service and sacrifice. Retired military dogs are usually adopted by their handlers or other military families, living out their remaining years as beloved pets. They have given years of service, faced danger without hesitation, and earned every moment of peaceful retirement. Their courage is a reminder that heroism comes in many forms. Police dogs assist in law enforcement every day. Police canine units are an essential part of law enforcement around the world. These dogs, typically German Shepherds, Belgian Malinois, or Dutch Shepherds, are trained for a variety of tasks.
Some specialize in tracking, following scent trails to find missing persons or fleeing suspects. Others are trained in apprehension, using their speed, strength, and bite to stop dangerous individuals. Detection dogs find narcotics, explosives, or other contraband. Each dog is a specialist, honing skills over months or years of training. The bond between a canine officer and their handler is intense. The handler is responsible for the dog's care, training, and well-being, often taking them home at the end of each shift.
The dog, in turn, is loyal, focused, and willing to face danger to protect their handler. These dogs are not pets. They are officers with their own badge numbers and legal protections. Injuring or killing a police dog is a serious crime in many jurisdictions. When a canine retires, often due to age or injury, they are usually adopted by their handler, transitioning from partner to family member. They've earned that retirement and the quiet life that follows years of service. Avalanche dogs locate people buried under snow. In mountainous regions, avalanche rescue dogs are a critical resource. These dogs, often breeds like Border Collies, German Shepherds, or mixed breeds chosen for their drive and focus, are trained to locate the scent of humans buried beneath snow. When an avalanche occurs, time is everything. A person buried under snow has a limited window of survival, often less than 30 minutes before the risk of suffocation or hypothermia becomes critical. Avalanche dogs can cover vast areas far more quickly than humans, using probes, and they can detect scent even through many feet of snow. When a dog indicates a find, usually by digging or barking at a specific spot, rescuers know where to focus their efforts. These dogs work in harsh conditions: cold, unstable snow, thin air at high altitudes, and they do it with enthusiasm, because to them, it is a game. Training involves hiding volunteers under snow and rewarding the dog when they find them. The dog learns that finding a person equals praise, play, and treats. Their joy in the work is genuine, and that joy, that willingness to search in brutal conditions, saves lives every winter in mountains around the world. Detection dogs find everything from bedbugs to cancer. The versatility of a dog's nose has led to some surprising specializations. Bedbug detection dogs are trained to find infestations in homes, hotels, and other buildings, sniffing out the insects with far greater accuracy than human inspectors. Conservation dogs help track endangered species, detect invasive plants, or locate wildlife scat for research purposes, contributing to ecological studies in ways that technology cannot match. Arson dogs are trained to detect accelerants at fire scenes, helping investigators determine if a fire was deliberately set. Some dogs are trained to detect specific allergens like peanuts, alerting their owners with severe allergies before they accidentally ingest something dangerous. There are even dogs trained to detect electronics, finding hidden cell phones, hard drives, or SD cards in criminal investigations. Each of these roles takes advantage of the dog's natural scent abilities, refined through training into a precise tool. The range of things a dog can be trained to detect is astonishing, and it continues to expand as trainers and researchers discover new applications. The nose of a dog is one of nature's most sophisticated senses, and humanity has only begun to explore its full potential. The joy of play. Dogs invite play with exuberance and joy. Play is not just a pastime for dogs, it is a fundamental part of their lives. Puppies learn crucial skills through play: how to control their bite, how to read body language, how to navigate social hierarchies.
Adult dogs continue to play, not because they need to learn, but because play is joyful, a source of pleasure, bonding, and mental stimulation. When a dog wants to play, they signal it clearly. The play bow. Front legs down, rear end up, tail wagging. The exaggerated bouncing gait, leaping and spinning. The bright focused eyes, the open mouth that looks almost like a smile. Dogs at play are fully present, engaged in the moment with complete focus and enthusiasm. They invent games, improvise rules, and adapt to their playmates. Whether those are other dogs, humans, or even other species, play is where dogs show their personalities most clearly. Some are gentle and careful. Others are rough and tumble. Some are strategic, others impulsive. In play, dogs are not performing or obeying. They are simply being themselves, and it is beautiful to witness. Fetch satisfies a dog's natural retrieving instinct. For many dogs, fetch is not just a game, it is a calling. Retrieving breeds like Labrador retrievers, golden retrievers, and spaniels were specifically developed to bring back game for hunters. This instinct runs deep. A tennis ball thrown across a yard triggers something primal: the urge to chase, capture, and return. The joy a retriever shows when fetching is not just about pleasing their person, though that is part of it. It is about fulfilling a purpose bred into them over generations. For these dogs, retrieving is satisfying in a way that is hard to quantify. It feels right. It feels like what they were made to do. Even dogs without retrieving in their lineage often enjoy fetch because it engages their prey drive, their love of running, and their desire to interact with their human. The game is simple, but it contains multitudes: exercise, bonding, mental stimulation, and the pure pleasure of movement. Throwing a ball for your dog is an act of love, giving them the chance to do what they love most. And when they return, panting and happy, dropping the ball at your feet, they are saying, "Again, please again." Tug of war can be a healthy and fun game. For years, dog trainers warned against playing tug of war, claiming it would make dogs aggressive or teach them to challenge their owners. Modern understanding has debunked this myth. Tug of war, when played with rules and boundaries, is a wonderful game that provides exercise, strengthens the bond, and satisfies a dog's natural instincts. Dogs are predators, and tugging mimics the act of tearing meat or shaking prey. It feels good to them. It allows them to use their powerful jaws and neck muscles in a safe, controlled way. The key is to teach the dog to release the toy on command and to stop playing if they get too excited or start to mouth hands instead of the toy. When played correctly, tug is not about dominance or winning. It is about cooperation, communication, and shared fun. Dogs who play tug are not learning to be aggressive. They are learning to engage with their person, to control their impulses, and to enjoy a game that lets them be a little bit wild in a safe space. And that wildness, that primal joy, is part of what makes dogs so wonderful. Many dogs love to dig, fulfilling an ancient urge. Digging is a behavior that frustrates many dog owners, but to a dog, it is natural and satisfying. Wild canines dig dens for shelter, bury food for later, and dig to reach prey hiding underground. Domestic dogs retain these instincts. Some dig to create a cool spot to lie in on a hot day. Others dig to bury toys or bones, saving them for later. Some breeds, particularly terriers, were bred to dig out vermin and have an especially strong drive to excavate. Digging is also a way to release energy, explore interesting scents, or simply because it is fun. For dogs, the sensation of dirt under their paws, the smell of the earth, the physical effort of digging, all of it is engaging. If your dog is a digger, providing an appropriate outlet, like a designated digging pit or sandbox, can save your garden while allowing them to indulge the instinct. Digging is not misbehavior. It is a dog being a dog. And with understanding and management, it can coexist with a well-kept yard. After all, when a dog emerges from a hole they have dug, dirt on their nose and joy in their eyes, it is hard to be too upset. They are simply following a calling older than lawns and flower beds. Agility training challenges mind and body.
Agility is a dog sport that involves navigating an obstacle course, weaving through poles, leaping over jumps, racing through tunnels, and traversing A-frames and seesaws, all under the direction of the handler and against the clock. It is fast, fun, and requires teamwork, communication, and trust. For dogs, agility is both physically demanding and mentally stimulating. They must learn to respond to verbal and visual cues, make split-second decisions, and control their bodies with precision. For handlers, it is a chance to see their dog shine, to work together toward a goal, and to celebrate their dog's speed, intelligence, and willingness to try. Agility is open to all breeds and mixed breeds, though certain types like Border Collies and Australian Shepherds tend to excel due to their herding backgrounds. But dogs of all sizes and shapes can participate, with course modifications for smaller or less athletic dogs. The joy on a dog's face as they race through a course is unmistakable. This is play elevated to art, instinct channeled into sport, and the bond between dog and handler made visible in every jump and turn. The emotional depth of dogs. Dogs experience a range of complex emotions. For much of scientific history, animals were thought to be simple creatures driven by instinct rather than feeling. We now know this is false, at least when it comes to dogs. Research has shown that dogs experience joy, fear, anger, disgust, and love. They may even experience more complex emotions like jealousy, shame, and pride, though these are harder to measure and more controversial among scientists. What is clear is that dogs have an emotional life that is rich and real. They form attachments, experience grief, feel anxiety, and show empathy. Brain imaging studies have revealed that dogs have similar neurological responses to humans when processing emotions, particularly in the areas associated with positive feelings and social bonding. When a dog looks at their beloved person, the same reward centers light up in their brain as when a human looks at someone they love. This is not anthropomorphism or projection, it is biology. Dogs feel. Their emotions may not be identical to ours, filtered as they are through a different sensory and cognitive experience, but they are genuine. To love a dog and to be loved by one is to be in a relationship built on real, measurable, mutual affection. Dogs show empathy toward humans in distress. When you cry, your dog knows. Studies have shown that dogs respond to human emotional distress with behaviors that suggest empathy. In experiments where a person pretended to cry or show signs of distress, dogs approached more often than when the person was simply humming or talking. The dogs often made physical contact, nuzzling, licking, or leaning against the distressed person. They showed signs of stress themselves, indicating that they were affected by the person's emotions. This is not mere curiosity. It is a response to perceived suffering, an attempt to comfort or soothe. Dogs seem to understand that something is wrong and that their presence might help. This empathic response is part of what makes dogs such extraordinary companions. They are not indifferent to our pain. They care. They respond. They offer comfort in the simplest, most direct way they know. Through closeness, through touch, through being present. To be comforted by a dog in a moment of sadness is to receive a gift that is both humble and profound. The knowledge that you are not alone, that your pain is seen and acknowledged by another being who wishes you well. Separation anxiety is a real and distressing condition for some dogs. Being left alone is not just lonely, it is terrifying. Dogs with separation anxiety experience extreme distress when separated from their primary person. They may pace, pant, drool, bark, or howl continuously, destroy furniture or doors, or even injure themselves trying to escape. This is not spite or bad behavior, it is panic. The dog genuinely believes that their person is gone forever and may not return. The condition can stem from various causes: a traumatic abandonment in the past, under-socialization as a puppy, or simply a temperament that is more anxious and attachment-prone. Treatment involves a combination of behavior modification, gradually teaching the dog that departures are temporary and safe, environmental management, providing enrichment and safe spaces, and sometimes medication to reduce baseline anxiety. It is a difficult condition for both dog and owner, requiring patience, consistency, and often professional help. Understanding that the dog is suffering, not misbehaving, helps owners approach the problem with compassion rather than frustration. No dog wants to feel this way. They are trapped in a cycle of fear, and they need support to break free. Some dogs form one-person bonds. Others love widely. Dogs vary greatly in how they attach to people. Some dogs are deeply bonded to one person, following them from room to room, preferring their company above all others, and showing visible distress when that person is away. These one-person dogs often form with individuals who were their primary caregiver during critical developmental periods, or who have spent the most time training and caring for them. They are not necessarily unfriendly to others, but their loyalty is focused. Other dogs are social butterflies, loving everyone they meet with equal enthusiasm. They greet strangers with wagging tails, enjoy being petted by anyone, and seem to view all humans as potential friends. This difference is partly temperament, partly experience. Dogs who have been well socialized, exposed to many people in positive contexts, are more likely to be generally friendly. Dogs who have bonded intensely with one person, especially if they spent their formative months with that person alone, may remain more focused. Neither style of attachment is better or worse. They are simply different, reflecting the individuality of each dog. Some hearts are wide and generous. Others are deep and singular. Both are beautiful in their own way. Jealousy in dogs is evident and measurable. If you have ever petted one dog while another watched, and then had the watching dog push between you and the first dog, you have witnessed jealousy. Research has confirmed that dogs experience something akin to jealousy when they see their person giving attention or affection to another dog, or even to an object. In studies,
Dogs showed more signs of distress, tried to intervene more frequently, and acted more aggressively when the owner interacted with a realistic stuffed dog than when the owner interacted with a neutral object. This suggests that dogs do not just want attention, they want their person's attention not to be directed elsewhere. This makes sense from an evolutionary perspective. Resources, including social bonds, are valuable, and animals who protect their access to those resources are more likely to thrive. In a domestic setting, jealousy can lead to conflicts in multi-dog households, with dogs competing for lap space, playtime, or simply proximity to their person. Understanding that this is a genuine emotion, not manipulation or dominance, helps owners manage it more effectively. Ensuring each dog gets individual attention, reinforcing polite behavior, and not inadvertently rewarding pushy or demanding actions can reduce jealousy-driven conflicts. At its heart, jealousy in dogs is evidence of attachment. They care about you deeply, and they do not want to share. The aging journey. Senior dogs require extra care and patience. As dogs age, their needs change. They may develop arthritis, making movement painful, or lose hearing and vision, making them more anxious or easily startled. Their metabolism slows, requiring adjustments to diet and exercise. They may sleep more, play less, and need more frequent bathroom breaks. Cognitive decline, similar to dementia in humans, can affect some senior dogs, causing confusion, disorientation, or changes in personality. Caring for an aging dog requires adaptation. Softer beds for aching joints, ramps instead of stairs, shorter but more frequent walks, and patience when they move more slowly or forget commands they once knew. It also requires vigilance, monitoring for signs of pain or illness, and working closely with a veterinarian to manage age-related conditions.
But the extra care is a privilege, a chance to give back some of the love and companionship the dog has provided over the years. Senior dogs often become calmer, more affectionate, and deeply content with simple pleasures: a sunny spot to nap, a gentle scratch behind the ears, the presence of their beloved person nearby. They have moved beyond the exuberance of youth into a quieter, deeper joy. To care for a senior dog is to honor a lifetime of loyalty and love. Gray muzzles and cloudy eyes are badges of honor. When a dog's face begins to silver with age, when their eyes develop a cloudy blue haze called lenticular sclerosis, when their steps become slower and their naps longer, they are showing the marks of a life well lived. These changes are not flaws. They are evidence of years spent loving, playing, guarding, and simply being present. A gray muzzle is a face that has greeted you countless mornings, licked away countless tears, and pressed into your hand for countless scratches. Cloudy eyes are eyes that have watched you, waited for you, and looked at you with trust and affection for years. These signs of aging are beautiful in their own way, proof that you and your dog have traveled through time together, that you have shared a significant portion of your lives. In cultures around the world, elders are respected for their experience and wisdom. Senior dogs deserve no less. They have earned their rest, their extra treats, their spot on the softest couch. They have been faithful through puppyhood, adulthood, and now into their golden years. Every gray hair is a memory, every stiff joint a testament to miles walked together. They are not declining, they are ripening, becoming the fullest version of themselves.
End-of-life decisions are acts of love. One of the hardest responsibilities of dog ownership is deciding when a dog's quality of life has declined to the point where letting them go is the kindest choice. This decision is never easy.
It is made in consultation with veterinarians, with consideration of the dog's pain, mobility, appetite, and ability to enjoy life. Some dogs pass peacefully in their sleep, but many face a decline where suffering outweighs joy. In those cases, euthanasia, gentle and humane, allows them to slip away without prolonged pain or fear. The decision is an act of love, putting the dog's well-being above our own desire to keep them longer. It is a final gift. The same compassion and care that has defined the relationship from the beginning. Being present during euthanasia, holding your dog, speaking softly to them, ensures they are not alone or afraid. They leave this world as they lived in it, surrounded by love. The grief that follows is a testament to the bond. You are not grieving a pet. You are grieving a family member, a friend, a presence that shaped your daily life. That grief is appropriate and necessary, and through it eventually comes gratitude for every moment you had together. The lifespan of a dog is heartbreakingly brief. One of the cruelest facts of loving a dog is how short their lives are compared to ours. Small dogs may live 15 years or more, while giant breeds often live only 7 or 8. The average dog lives around 10 to 13 years, a fraction of a human lifespan. This means that most people will outlive every dog they love, experiencing the cycle of joy and loss multiple times. It is a price we pay for the privilege of their companionship. But in that brief time, dogs live fully. They do not waste days worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. They are present, engaged, experiencing each moment with an intensity that humans often struggle to match. A dog's short life is not incomplete or insufficient. It is simply concentrated, a distillation of love, loyalty, and joy, packed into a span of years that feels both too long and far too short. When we lose them, we are reminded of the Buddhist concept of impermanence, that all things pass, that attachment brings suffering. But we are also reminded that love is worth that suffering, that the beauty of a connection is not diminished by its end. Every moment with a dog is precious, precisely because it is temporary. And perhaps that is the lesson they teach us, to love fully, without reservation, for as long as we are given. The enduring legacy. Dogs have shaped human history and culture. It is impossible to overstate the impact dogs have had on human civilization. They made us better hunters, allowing early humans to take down larger game and survive harsh climates. They guarded our camps, alerting us to predators and intruders. They herded our livestock, making agriculture more efficient and sustainable. They pulled sleds through frozen landscapes, carried messages through war zones, and detected dangers that would have killed us. But beyond utility, dogs have shaped us in less tangible ways. They have taught us about loyalty, about unconditional love, about living in the moment. They appear in our oldest myths and our newest movies, symbols of fidelity, courage, and companionship. They are woven into our language, our art, our collective consciousness. To be human in many ways has meant to live alongside dogs. They have been with us through our evolution, from nomadic tribes to settled societies, from ancient kingdoms to modern cities. They have adapted to every climate, every culture, every era. And in doing so, they have changed us, making us more compassionate, more connected, and more capable of love that transcends species boundaries. Every dog carries the story of their ancestors. When you look at your dog, you are seeing thousands of years of history made flesh. The floppy ears that flop when they run, a result of domestication syndrome. The wagging tail, a signal developed through millennia of living with humans. The gentle mouth of a retriever bred over centuries to carry game without damaging it. The protective instinct of a guardian breed, inherited from dogs who defended flocks against wolves and bears. Even mixed-breed dogs carry these stories, their bodies and behaviors a mosaic of ancestral traits. Every dog is a living archive, a genetic library containing the experiences, adaptations, and selections of countless generations. And beyond genetics, each individual dog has their own story. Where they were born, who raised them, what experiences shaped them. Every scar, every gray hair, every quirk of personality is a chapter in that story. When we adopt a dog or bring a puppy home, we become part of that ongoing narrative. We add our own chapter, our own influence, our own love. And when we pass them on, whether to new owners or into memory, the story continues, carried forward in the lives they touched and the love they inspired. Dogs teach us to live in the present moment. One of the greatest gifts dogs offer is their example of presence. Dogs do not ruminate about yesterday or worry excessively about tomorrow. They live now. They are thrilled about the walk you are taking today, not anxious about whether there will be a walk next week. They enjoy the meal in their bowl, the sunbeam warming their fur, the sound of your voice calling them. This is not because they lack memory or foresight. They have both, but because they prioritize the immediate experience. In a world where humans are constantly distracted, planning, replaying the past, anticipating the future, dogs anchor us to the present. When you pet your dog, they are fully there, feeling your touch, leaning into your hand. When you play, they are immersed in the game, every muscle engaged, every sense focused. This capacity for presence is something we can learn from them. It is mindfulness in its purest form, not as a practice we force ourselves into, but as a natural state of being. To watch a dog experience joy over simple things, a stick, a splash in a puddle, the return of a family member, is to be reminded that happiness does not require grand gestures or perfect circumstances. It requires only attention, only the willingness to fully inhabit the moment we are in. The unconditional love of a dog is a profound gift. Dogs do not love us because we are perfect. They do not withhold affection when we fail or make mistakes. They do not judge us for our flaws or keep score of our shortcomings. They love us simply and completely for being us. This unconditional love is rare in the world. Human relationships, as beautiful as they are, come with conditions, expectations, disappointments. Dogs offer something different. As long as we meet their basic needs and treat them with kindness, they offer unwavering devotion. They are thrilled to see us after 5 minutes or 5 hours. They forgive quickly when we accidentally step on a paw or raise our voice in frustration. They stay by our side through illness, heartbreak, and struggle, asking nothing but our presence in return. This kind of love teaches us something essential about grace,
about acceptance, about the possibility of being loved, not for what we achieve or how we appear, but simply for existing. It is a love that heals, that comforts, that sustains, and perhaps in receiving it, we learn to offer it more freely to others and even to ourselves. The quiet moments. Dogs sigh contentedly when they feel safe and loved. There is a particular sound a dog makes when they settle into rest beside someone they trust. A long, deep sigh, almost like a human exhaling after a long day. It is a sound of contentment, of muscles releasing tension, of a mind letting go of alertness. When a dog sighs like this, they are saying, "I am safe, I am comfortable, all is well." It often happens after they have found the perfect spot next to you on the couch, in their favorite bed, in a sunny patch on the floor. They circle once or twice, settle, and then comes the sigh. A gentle whoosh of air that seems to carry away all worry. Hearing your dog sigh in contentment is a privilege, a sign that you have created a home where they feel secure. It is a moment of peace for them and for you. In that sigh is the essence of what dogs offer us, the ability to simply be, to rest, to find comfort in presence. It is a small sound, easily overlooked, but it carries profound meaning. Your dog is happy. Your dog is home. The sound of a dog's paws on the floor is music. There is something deeply comforting about the soft click-clack of dog nails on hardwood or tile, the muffled thump on carpet, the quickening rhythm when they trot to greet you. These sounds become part of the fabric of home, a background melody that signals companionship and life. When a dog follows you from room to room, their footsteps are a reminder that you are not alone. When they settle nearby at night, the sound of their breathing or the occasional rustle as they shift position is soothing, a lullaby of presence. For those who have lost a dog, it is often these sounds that they miss most, the small, constant reminders that their companion was there. The silence left behind feels vast and empty. But while they are with us, these sounds are a gift, an auditory thread woven through our days. They are the sound of love made tangible, of a life shared, of a bond that requires no words. A dog's sleep is deep and trusting. Watch a dog sleep, truly sleep, and you will see trust made visible. They sprawl on their backs, legs in the air, belly exposed, a position of complete vulnerability. Or they curl tightly, nose to tail, conserving warmth and feeling secure. Their breathing slows, deep and rhythmic. Their muscles twitch as they dream. They are utterly defenseless in this state, and they know it. To sleep this deeply requires a sense of safety, a belief that nothing will harm them while they rest. When a dog sleeps near you, they are showing the highest form of trust. They are saying, "I believe you will protect me. I do not need to stay alert. I can let go completely." This is especially poignant for dogs who have known hardship, abuse, or neglect. When a rescue dog finally sleeps deeply, it is a milestone, a sign that they are beginning to heal, to feel safe. For all dogs, sleep is sacred, a time when the body repairs and the mind processes. To watch over a sleeping dog is to be a guardian of their rest, to honor the trust they have placed in you. It is a quiet role, but a vital one. The gray light of dawn with a dog beside you. There is something particularly peaceful about early morning with a dog. The world is still quiet, not yet fully awake. You stir and your dog lifts their head, tail beginning a slow wag. There is no rush, no demands, just the gentle transition from sleep to waking shared. Maybe you let them out into the yard, where birds are singing their first songs. Maybe you make coffee while they stretch and yawn. Maybe you sit together as light slowly fills the room, your hand resting on their head, their warmth pressing against your leg. These mornings are not dramatic or eventful. They are simple, ordinary even. But they are the moments that build a life together. The small, repeated rituals that create home. Morning after morning, year after year, a dog greets the day with you, and in doing so, makes it better. They remind you that even the most ordinary day holds beauty, that companionship is its own kind of wealth. As the light grows and the world begins to wake, you and your dog are ready to meet it together. And so, dear listener, we reach the end of our gentle exploration of dogs. These remarkable beings who have walked beside humanity for thousands of years. We have wandered through their senses, sharper and stranger than our own. We have explored their intelligence, their emotions, and the many ways they serve and comfort us. We have celebrated their diversity, from the tiniest lapdog to the largest working breed. We have honored their capacity for joy, for love, for loyalty that asks for nothing, but gives everything. Dogs are more than animals we share our homes with. They are teachers, healers, companions, and friends. They show us how to live with presence, how to love without condition, how to find joy in simple things. They forgive our failings, celebrate our returns, and offer comfort in our darkest moments. The bond between human and dog is ancient and profound, built not on words, but on trust, on shared experiences, on a mutual recognition that transcends language. Every tail wag, every contented sigh, every moment of eye contact is a conversation, a connection, a reminder that we are not alone. To know a dog, to truly know them, is to be changed. They leave paw prints on our hearts that never fade, even long after they are gone. As you rest here now, perhaps with your own dog nearby, or holding the memory of a dog you loved, let yourself feel gratitude for these extraordinary creatures. Let yourself remember the soft weight of a head in your lap, the warmth of a body pressed against yours, the sound of paws following you through your home. Dogs are a gift we do not always deserve, but one we are blessed to receive. They make our lives richer, fuller, and infinitely more loving. So close your eyes now, breathe deeply, and drift into sleep with the knowledge that somewhere a dog is sleeping too, dreaming their own dreams, safe and loved. Good night.